Jack from B&T MacFarlane, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new LX4020. So let's get into it. I'm really excited to be standing in front of the brand new LX4020 today. It sits inside of Kubota's LX series, and if you've done any research online, Kubota went ahead and completely redesigned the LX series. So it used to be the LX10 series, which had the LX2610 and the LX3310. So those two models, they are no longer available for order, and now we have the LX20 series, and with that comes a lot of new features that we're going to go over today. But in general, looking at the lineup, we're going to have the LX2620, which I will be making a video on shortly, and then you're going to have the LX3520, which is going to be 35 horsepower version of this frame size, and then there's going to be the LX4020, which is obviously this one here. So this is the largest one, and it has 40 horsepower. A couple of key differences within the LX20 lineup: you're going to have the smaller model, which is the LX2620, which is really not noticeably smaller, but it's going to be 3 inches narrower, a slightly smaller loader. And then you're going to have the bigger frame size, which is going to be the 3520 and the 4020. So we're going to start by talking about some new features up front. The first one you're going to notice, if you are familiar with the older LX10 series, is going to be the brand new front end loader. So on the older models, you're going to have the LA535. It is now the LA545. So they went ahead and redesigned the loader a little bit. It does have a little bit more lift capacity. It lifts a few inches higher with about 50 more pounds of lift. So it's not incredibly noticeable, but there is a bit of a lifting capacity difference. And the reason why they went and redesigned the front end loader is because the front axle of the 3520 and 4020 is actually 3 inches wider than the 3310. So they had to make the loader a little bit wider to accommodate the wider front axle and the wider frame. And personally, I think it looks a little bit nicer on this tractor. It looks like it's a little bit more suited for a 40 horsepower tractor. It looks beefier, it looks bigger, it looks a little bit more robust. And as always, you will have some premium features on this loader, such as the skid steer style quick attach. You're going to have the bucket with an option for a bolt-on edge, and then you're also going to have the loader level indicator. And then you can also have the option to add the Kubota K-Connect or Swift Tack system on the loader valves. So instead of having to disconnect each individual loader hydraulic, you can get an attachment much like you would see on the B series or the BX series, where you can remove all the loader hydraulics with one single lever. One thing to note about the loader between the LX2620 and the 4020, since the LX2620 is on the same platform as the 2610, you will still have the older LA535 loader on that tractor. Only the 3520 and 4020 will have the new loader. Again, just because it's 3 inches wider, you need the slightly bigger loader to accommodate that. So now we're going to look at some of the new design choices on the LX20 series. The one that you're going to notice the most is going to be the new LED headlights on the hood itself. So previously on the LX10 series, it would have had halogen lights, the older style ones. So they are the new upgraded LED headlights. And then you're going to notice a couple holes on the grill guard. Those are for a factory grill guard insert. So if you're going to be using this tractor for brushwork, for twigs, it is a real possibility that branches can come back through this and damage the plastic grill guard here that's on the hood, go through and damage your radiator and other stuff inside of your engine. So if you do opt for that grill guard insert, you will be a little bit more protected when you're using this tractor in the bush. So as you see, the tractor here is exactly how it comes from factory. It is largely the same as the LX10 series. So it will come standard with these side mirrors. It will come with the LED front and rear work lights, the rear defroster, the rear windshield wiper. So in terms of the rest of the cab, it is largely the same as the LX10 series, but that isn't a bad thing. That was a really well-equipped tractor, and this is largely the same. So now I'm inside of the cab, and this is going to be where you're going to notice a lot of the new features. This is going to be a really long segment. We're going to go through each and every new feature that can be found from inside of the cab. So to start, as you would expect, everything is really laid out from Kubota. So everything is where you would expect it to be. Everything's color coded based on what things do. So in general, if you've never seen one of my Kubota tractor videos, so everything is color coded in here. Anything in black controls part of the hydraulic system. So you have your black loader lever, which controls the front bucket. You have your black 3-point hitch lever, which then controls the rear 3-point hitch. Anything in orange controls part of the drive system, so think your transmission, your engine RPMs. You have your orange throttle lever here, and then over here you have your high, medium, and low range selector. And then some of the new features that you're gonna see in this, you're gonna have one of these universal PTO knobs that you just spin and twist, and that's gonna be in yellow. So the older style LX10 series, it just had a lever that would engage and disengage the PTO. So this one, you just twist the dial and then press it to disengage. And a really neat thing about the LX3520 and 4020 is they have two PTO options. So you're gonna have the normal 540 PTO, and then you're gonna have a 540E option. And they do that because a 40 horsepower tractor is really large, but this is still technically a smaller frame size tractor. So you could have smaller implements that your LX2620 could run on the back of a 4020, where you don't necessarily need all of the 40 horsepower enabled to run it. So what you'll do is you'll just put the PTO option into the 540E, and then what that allows you to do is to turn on your PTO, spin the rear PTO at the appropriate RPMs, but be lower in the engine RPM. So instead of having to spin the PTO at 540 and then you're at 2,800 RPMs, you can have 540 RPMs at the back at about 1,800 RPMs, which is really nice because it really lowers the noise inside the cab and makes it a lot easier to drive if you have some smaller implements. There's also a really cool feature that's brand new to the LX20 series, and it's the auto throttle. So typically when you drive a tractor, you're gonna press the HST pedal and then you're obviously gonna go. But the more you increase the engine RPMs, the faster you're gonna go. And this tractor, it's gonna act kind of like your car. So when you press the gas on your car, your engine RPMs increase to give you more speed and move a little bit quicker. This tractor will do exactly the same thing. So I'll show a video later, but if you turn on the tractor and press the forward pedal, your engine RPMs are gonna automatically increase revs in order to match the speed that you're going. So if you're driving point A to point B in high range, you can drive this just like your car. Just hit the HST pedal, your tractor will automatically rev up to match however fast you're going. And then there's also a couple preset functions here. You'll see an A and a B on the dash, and these are just rev memory placements. So if you are snow blowing and you turn off the PTO, you can lower your RPMs, and then you can turn your PTO back on, which will turn your snowblower back on. Instead of having to bring the revs back up to go exactly where you were before, you just press the button. It'll automatically bring the revs back up to spin the snowblower exactly what it was before. So the last PTO discussion we have to talk about is the mid PTO. So on the LX10 series, the 2610 and 3310, it was factory installed and came right from Kubota with the mid PTO installed. On the 3520 and 4020, it is a dealer installed option. So that is something that you're gonna have to consider. If you're gonna be using this tractor for a front snowblower, mid-mount mower deck, any kind of mid-mount or front mount attachments, you will have to add the mid PTO. It does not come installed from factory. And then looking at the rest of the cab, it is what you would expect from Kubota in a cab of this class. It has heat, air conditioning. You can even get a radio installed. It comes with all the nice vents. Everything's really comfortable. It has armrests. And then you also have the rear window defogger, which I did mention. You also have front and rear windshield wipers and washers as well. And then the seat, that is another upgrade in the new LX20 series. So it is quite comfortable. It's a little bit wider, a little bit bigger. So it is a nicer seat over the LX10 series. Now taking a look at the back of the LX4020, you will notice that there is already a bracket for rear remotes. So on a tractor this size, I would strongly recommend getting rear remotes installed from the dealership. It'll make your life a lot easier if you're getting any kind of top and tilt kit or any hydraulics back here for a snowblower as well. Looking at the 3-point hitch, since this is a premium tractor, you would expect a premium 3-point hitch, and that is definitely what you get. You have the nicer side link adjustments, so it's not the turnbuckle style, it is the pin style. To make it narrower or wider, you're also gonna have the extendable end links here. So like you would see on the LX2610, you will have that here. It makes it a lot easier when you're hooking up implements on the rear, especially on a 40 horsepower tractor. They can get fairly heavy, the implements. So being able to have that last little couple inches to hook up the implements makes a world of difference. So some tire choices on the LX4020. This right here is gonna be the small set of R14 tires, but there is quite a few options in tires that you can get on the 4020. You're gonna have an optional ag tire, so that's gonna be the skinnier, more aggressive tire if you're gonna be using this for some real hobby farming. You're gonna have industrial tires in both a smaller size, which is this, or a larger size as well. And then you're gonna have an optional R14 tire, which is this one you see right here, in a smaller or larger size again. And then you're gonna have an optional turf tire. So that's gonna be the fatter tires if you're gonna be using this on primarily finished lawns, or if you're a golf course, I would recommend getting turf tires as well. So now I'm inside of the cab and I'm gonna be driving it around a little bit because this is one of the biggest things that Kubota went and changed in the new LX20 series. It is a lot quieter, like substantially quieter, because that old LX10 series, it would have that HST whine to it, and this one they went and changed the transmission a little bit so it has way less whine to it. So I'm going to drive it around here and you'll hear the difference immediately, the less whine. This tractor is also a lot faster as well. So the old LX20 series, it would do about 19 kilometers an hour, and this one will do about 27.5 kilometers an hour. So a tractor this size going 27.5 kilometers an hour, I think I would strongly recommend putting on rear wheel spacers to prevent any rollover scenarios. So that's where we're gonna end today's video. If you have any comments on the new LX20 series or the LX4020, make sure you leave them down below in the comments. If you need help with parts, sales, or service, give us a call at 613-225-0555. And if you're liking the videos, remember to like and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot. And thank you guys for watching.